Hello, in this video I want to talk a little bit about the UK electric vehicle public charging infrastructure. Over the last few years this has been massively improved on where it was, but there's still a way to go. Stay with me and we'll talk a little bit more about it. I'm currently down on the south coast of England on a short break, and whilst the journey down was uneventful, I stopped once to charge, and it was a hub with multiple charging units, a little bit more expensive than some, but guaranteed to get a space, guaranteed to be reliable, and it was a one-off journey, so I didn't mind paying a little bit of an inflated charge, because it was a site I knew. I've been there before, and it was excellent. My car charged the fastest it's ever charged before. So the e-Niro is rated at 77 kilowatts maximum. It actually was registering 78, so I guess that's a rounding error. But it was brilliant. I'd got down to, I don't know, about 20% state of charge when we arrived at the hub, and it charged for quite a good while at 78, and then ramped down to 40 and then 30 odd, and we needed to stay a little bit longer while we were having some lunch and what have you, but by the time the car was ready we were still eating, so it was brilliant. I was planning on possibly making two short stops, but as it turned out, because we weren't ready to leave, the car was charging really well. It was a warm day, so that would have helped no doubt, but we'd done a fair distance to the site, and it must have been optimum conditions. So we got a lovely fast charge. We stayed a bit longer than the car necessarily needed to, because we needed a quick break and sandwiches and what have you. And then I didn't need to make a second stop, so I got all the way down to the south coast from Leeds, and it was just the one stop and everything was fine, plenty of charge when we got there. But when it came to the destination, I've stayed down here now a few days. There's a few sites in the town we're in. It's the town of Eastbourne. We were down for the air show, and there's some rapid charging sites that have only got a single unit, and I just don't think that's good enough. There's a couple of hotels in the town that have got rapid chargers, probably restricted to customers only, but they've got really small car parks, and just when I walk past those, there's no chance, that you can plan to use those things, because the car parks are over full for the air show, customers, all over the place, and just one unit doesn't seem to cut it. And a rapid for a hotel car park, I'm not sure is right. Other commentators have said similar things. They probably would have been better with a handful of 7 kilowatt chargers and just spread out the sockets there, and then people who are staying a lot longer can get that slower but prolonged charge. The same's true of a couple of petrol stations in the area. They've just got a single 50 kilowatt or whatever it is, 100 kilowatt charger. And okay, petrol stations are slightly different to a hotel, because petrol station isn't really a destination, a hotel is. But a single rapid charger, nobody in the right mind is going to plan, if you're doing any careful planning, to use a site where there's a single charger. There's too much risk of it being in use or not working on a given occasion, and you can't rely on that. If you've got that desperate for charge, you just don't plan to stop at that charger. You go somewhere that's got more chargers. Everybody's saying this, plan your journey. On the journey down, I planned a site I knew, as it happens, but I would never these days plan for a site with less than 4 chargers on a long journey. It's just not worth the risk. And some of the popular sites, you need to assume more chargers than that as well. So I don't think the petrol stations with a single charger, and I don't think the hotels with a single rapid charger either, are appropriate. So down in the town of Eastbourne, we've got a shopping centre that's got about 9 or 10 7 kilowatt chargers, rated 7, but they typically only give about 2 to 3 kilowatts. Those are alright if you're staying a long time. They're actually free, but then some of them are not reliable, and as I say, they're pretty slow, and you charged for parking. So the charges themselves are free at that shopping centre, but the charges for the parking is probably on par with other parking around the town. So it's about £1.20 an hour. Not the cheapest, but not terrible, and if you can get a free charge, it's probably worth it for a few hours. There's a Tesco with a handful of 7 kilowatt chargers. There is an MFG fuel station that's got, I think, about 4 chargers. I'm probably going to visit that shortly, have a look. But Eastbourne itself, where they've got the air show this year, it's not, a massive charging hub. There aren't big sites, but there's a couple of pubs, that sort of thing in the area. But really, I think more destination chargers is the answer. And, supermarkets that have got 7, 8, 9 charging stations that are just 7 kilowatts or so would really be a lot more useful than the odd single rapid. So if I can find a couple of photographs, I'll take some photographs, pop them in the video here, and show you the sorts of sites I'm talking about. But yeah, it's basically just, we'd like some of the charging networks to listen and put out more destination chargers at destinations, and don't please just put one rapid out. Okay, it's useful if there's no other option, but you can't plan on long journeys to just use a single charger, because you can't rely on it being working. So anyway, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.